Okay, so end of the last segment, I was about to complain about how easy it was to face off so many of those enemies. Because, like, all I had to do was just absent-mindedly... Oh, whoa. Wasn't looking at the screen. I just walked into a wave of enemies. I was, like, gesturing with my head while I was talking, which resulted in me not looking at the screen and just immediately walking into an enemy. I feel like I do that a lot, and if you're paying attention, you probably notice it. Which is really dumb. Anyway, I managed to beat all those enemies without even, like, thinking about it, and I'm like, oh man, this is such a terrible game. I'm just able to play through it without thinking about it. But is that really such a bad quality to have in a game? Because I don't remember exactly what it was, but there was this like dumb Vsauce style YouTube video about how bullet hell games like Toho and that sort of thing are in a sense relaxing, because when you get in the flow of whatever that term is people use for some reason, oh, I got really high there. You just sort of, when you're into the game, you just sort of play it without thinking, you know? If you've ever played a bullet hell game, like the example they give is Toho, but I've never played Toho, but I know what it's like. But I think more like Beat Hazard, or what is it, Super Hexagon, which isn't a bullet hell game, but hey, similar thinking applies. Like, you get into the zone and your mind isn't even conscious of the game. You're just pressing buttons or moving a joystick, and like looking at it, it looks like it would just be completely impossible to keep up with that game and actually like play something like that. But you just, okay, if you've never seen a game like Toho, it's a bullet hell game. You know, there's a billion, not billion, like hundreds of bullets from enemies. It's a shoot 'em up, and there's hundreds of bullets from enemies on the screen, and you have to like dodge them, basically. And it seems like, looking at it, it would just be completely impossible. But when you're playing it, you just, again, I've never played Toho, but you just sort of maneuver between them, and it just happens on its own. It's not really, it just comes naturally. And you can be doing something like completely different at the same time. Not obviously anything that commands your complete attention, but something like listening to an audiobook, or like a podcast or something like that, listening to something, or talking about something in the case of a Let's Play. You can, it's just so easy, so natural to you that you're able to multitask. But like when you first play a game like that, like when you first play Super Hexagon, you're going to be dying all the time and swearing at the game because it's so difficult, and it's gonna take forever, and it's gonna annoy you. But once you get, you know, sort of decent at the game, I don't want to say I'm good at Super Hexagon because I'm not, but once you get decent at the game, it just comes naturally. And you'll still die because that's, you know, it's how the game ends, with you dying. You don't really have a choice in the matter. But I didn't pay attention to when I started recording. We're gonna have to wing it again. It's always good. And it becomes sort of relaxing. Like, it's so weird. Like, after a long day of class or something, or after finishing a huge project, which I'll also talk about, and I just want to relax after all that. Like, you'd think I would play something like Minecraft. Minecraft is another game like that. What I used to do when I had to listen to an audiobook, or when I wanted to listen to an audiobook or something, was to load up Minecraft and possibly like some cheating engine or like single player command so I can move really fast and jump really high and just explore the territory. Just fly around, looking at everything, doing some very basic platforming. It was very relaxing. Or some people might build, like mining or something. It seems like Minecraft would be the type of game you go to relax. But for me, when I want to relax, I load up, or even if I'm playing like another game, like some really intense game, I can't think of one. I don't know. Even something simple like Mario and Luigi. I don't know. That was a bad example. But when I want to relax, I play like Super Hexagon or especially Beat Hazard. It really seems like something like that wouldn't work. Super Hexagon works really well for it. When you're good enough at the game, okay, no, when you've played the game enough, I should say. Not necessarily that. I really don't want to imply that I'm good at the game, because I'm not. But when you've played it enough that you can consistently get like a minute or two on the lower difficulties, or even some of the upper ones, that's when the game just gets relaxing. You don't have to stress out about, oh, am I gonna actually beat the level? Oh, this is gonna be awful. You just play through it, and if you die, no big deal, because you're gonna die. But and you get to listen to the music and look at the flashing lights and colors, and that's another thing that Beat Hazard also has. Maybe that's it. That, yeah. Because in Super Hexagon, if you die, like, it's game over, but, you know, I've already beaten the level, so it doesn't really matter. And in Beat Hazard, you have multiple lives, so if you die, again, not a big deal. I wonder if that has something to do with it. How such a game that just looks like it would be so stressful and so intense ends up being so relaxing. Another game like that, like Minecraft, sort of, how you can just jump around without, just absent-mindedly jump around and explore without really regard for an objective, is Saints Row 4. When you have all the fully upgraded superpowers and you've beaten the game and there's nothing to do, you can just jump around the city and try to collect all of the cash. And you have an objective, you have some way of measuring your progress, but you also don't have a failure state, and you don't really have an objective, because it's not like you're gonna get all the cash. Like, you've beaten the game, you don't care about it anymore. Saints Row 4 sadly doesn't really have any post-story. Oh god, maybe I should talk about post-story too. I could complain about Gates to Infinity, Mystery Dungeon. That's for another time. If I'm ever playing Pokemon games. Oh, I'm not paying. No, I don't need to pay attention. So, Saints Row 4 is a fantastic game, but it just sort of ends. Like, you beat the final mission, and then, other than the DLC, you don't really have anything to do. Which is why you end up just absent-mindedly jumping around the city. But it is kind of relaxing. But not for very long, basically. But yeah, if you haven't played them, Super Hexagon and Beat Hazard are both fantastic games. And you should buy them on Steam right now and play them forever. Very, I don't want to advertise them as relaxing games, because they aren't at first, before you know what you're doing. They are quite stressful games at first, but they're intense games. They have lots of color, especially if you play them in full screen, or in multiple screens at once, which I've done. One thing I did, like when I built the new Hackintosh, I don't know why I built a Hackintosh, by the way. I just wanted to have an OS X computer lying around just in case I needed it. But I started using it for like Twitch streams and stuff. But I realized I needed audio for it, like for it and my main desktop at the same time. And so usually the way I do that, like if I'm playing a game system or something, is connect the line out from one desktop to the line in of the main desktop, which works just fine. But for whatever reason, the motherboard on this new computer is really noisy. Like, I don't get it, because it's... Oh, I didn't solve the puzzle. It's not like it's a cheap motherboard or anything, it's like a proper motherboard, but it's really noisy, so whenever you connect headphones or speakers, you can just hear static in the background constantly, which is unfortunate. So I realized probably the best way to get audio off it, since it is OS X, is to just use AirPlay, which is built into the operating system, and then get like an AirPlay receiver application for Windows, which apparently exists. It turns out they exist. So I have all the audio from the Hackintosh streaming to my main desktop, my gaming desktop. And then I realized I can also play Steam games on the Hackintosh using Steam in-house streaming. So I figured, I wonder what happens if I stream Super Hexagon. Because that's a game that you do not want to have latency on, and I just decided to... I mean, it's a game that any computer can play, so you really have no reason to stream it. I just wanted to see if in-home streaming was good enough to actually play it. But a consequence of that was that all the audio from the Hackintosh was being streamed to the main desktop, and because I was using Steam in-house streaming, all the audio from the main desktop was being streamed to the Hackintosh. Which was pretty magical in the end. But fortunately it didn't amplify the sound, so it wasn't this dreadful feedback loop. It actually, it added both ends added a delay, and oh god, this isn't going well. Okay, pickle, 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 pickle. I need my pickle. Yeah, every time I try another weapon, I just end up going back to the pickle, because it proves inadequate for my needs. Oh no. Oh, barnacle. That's my thoughts exactly. Still trying to kill me. Can I see how long this has been recording? Like if I check in Windows, no, it just shows it as a 0-byte file. Pfft, that's good. Does OBS... Oh, OBS does tell me. I'd never even noticed that. That it tells you how long you've been recording. I've been recording for 14 minutes and 36 seconds. And I'm sure if you check the play bar on YouTube, it will in fact say 14 minutes and 45 seconds. 46, 47, 48. I don't know. Sometimes YouTube play bar is like a second off, which is weird. Like the first segment of this video, of this LP, was 59 minutes and 59 seconds. I didn't check how many frames over it was, but it rounded to 59 minutes and 59 seconds. But on YouTube, like when you load up the video, it says 1 hour, but then immediately changes to 59:59. I've noticed like a lot of YouTube videos do that. I don't know if all of them do, because I haven't cared enough to find out. It's kind of amusing, especially whenever someone makes a video that's supposed to be a certain length, like, you know, Pi Day video that's supposed to be 3 minutes and 14 seconds. And YouTube like shows it, lists it as 3 minutes and 15 seconds, and it's like, oh, you have failed. I don't know what that voice was supposed to be. Who that voice was supposed to be. Like the viewer, the commenter, the sound of a YouTube commenter. Your video. No, YouTube commenters wouldn't sound like that. It'd be much more trollsy. Not like a snobby British guy. That's not the voice I give to YouTube commenters. Speaking of which, ever since YouTube switched over to requiring Google+, ooh, yes, let's keep this thing right. Oh yeah, that render distance. That's amusing. Ever since YouTube switched over to requiring Google+, like for one thing, I don't get notifications for comments anymore because I'm one of those holdouts. I still don't have. I mean, I have a Google Plus profile, I just don't have one for my YouTube channel. Mainly because I'm lazy. And I don't want to actually, like, set that up. But, yeah, I don't get notifications for comments anymore. But I like, yesterday found the place where all the comments actually go. So I can read them. Just kind of funny. But, I don't really get as many comments anymore now that they've required Google+, and I don't know if that's just because, you know, not as many people love me anymore, or if it really is just because no one wants to use Google+, just to comment on a YouTube video. If they ever require Google+ to upload videos, that'll be the point when I have to switch. But I actually did get a an extension. I found an extension that replaces YouTube comments with Reddit comments. Like, it searches Reddit for a post of the video and then just sticks the Reddit comments under the video where the YouTube comments would go, which makes browsing YouTube much more pleasant, and, you know, it has the cool side effect of introducing you to some niche subreddits. Like, some Reddit comments are really terrible. Like, if you go on one of the really popular subreddits, like r/videos, or one of the really awful subreddits, like r/trees, you're not gonna get top quality comments. But most YouTube videos don't get submitted to those places. They get submitted to more obscure subreddits, like, When I'm Smashing has been posted, I think, a couple times to r/Nigel Thornberry, which exists. So you get comments from places like that, which are much better, let's say, than YouTube comments. Of course, tragically, my videos don't end up on Reddit all that often. Especially not random LP segments. That's never going to be something that's on Reddit. So, that's unfortunate. But hey, for decently popular YouTubers, it's a lot better. Especially for people who have their... Like, when YouTube switched over to Google+, a bunch of people just started making their own subreddits for the discussions of their videos, like CGP Grey and Ashens. Like, for Ashens, it's really nice, because he has a relatively small subreddit. Yeah, you get to see the discussion for the video from the place that the... Ooh, can I shoot pickles directly at the screen? Pew! Pew! Okay, that's pointless. No, it's been exactly 20 minutes. Well, and 8 seconds. I think, since I'm right at the end, you know, good timing. I should take advantage of this good timing and not waste 5 minutes doing something dumb. So I will see you next time. Hopefully we'll beat this game soon. Just kind of sad, but whatever. Goodbye.